Yo, what's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy Tito, and welcome to another episode of Maintain the Design, Season 2. I got my boy Mikyron in the building.
What's
What's
up, man?
happening, bro?
Good, dude. Good. Good to finally get this done.
Yeah,
We've been
yeah.
talking about getting this podcast done for a while, so
Yeah, it's been a while. I
it's good
think
to be here.
since the beginning of the pod, I think we've been
Yeah,
exploring the idea of actually collaborating and having a conversation. But I think it's good that we waited this long because now we have a lot to talk about.
dude. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, man. We've
Yeah,
got World War III happening. We've got the end of the Corona fucking pandemic going on. Yeah,
yeah,
man. Lots to talk about. Obviously, I'm big into crypto, so we're gonna talk about that. So
yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah. So speaking of World War Three or potential World War Three, what's your take on everything that's happening with Russia at the moment and all the politics and how it's affecting like the entire globe basically? Because this is basically like a war that's affecting everybody.
Yeah, man. It's wild out there, dude.
Yeah,
It's wild out there. We got your boy Vladimir is
yeah,
out here, and yeah, that guy is just causing havoc, man.
yeah,
Um, you know, if you think about it, we could have seen this coming for years.
mm,
Now's just the time. I
yeah,
mean, like if you think about like NATO was formed to sort of keep Russia in check.
exactly. And
What
that's the
happened there,
thing,
dude?
and that's the thing, and that's the thing. Who do you blame? Because I've been doing a lot of research and reading up on like the Russian oligarchs
Mm,
and everything happening with them, but also how America actually ultimately contributed to this from the beginning.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a tug of war actually from both sides and a game of chess
mm.
where everybody's ultimately trying to get what it is that it will benefit them as a state.
Yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean?
Look, well, I mean, I think Russia made it very clear
Mm.
that yeah, okay, Ukraine is not no longer part of the Soviet Union, but it kind of is.
Yeah,
It
it
kind of
is.
is, and
It
I
is.
think like right now, what we're figuring out is that while NATO was trying to keep Russia at bay, Russia knew all along that no one was going to step up to them.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
like if you look at Ukraine now, like my prediction, honestly, there's not going to be a World War III.
yeah,
I think Russia's going to take Ukraine very easily.
yeah,
I think once they do take Ukraine, no one is going to fight back on them because they don't want to trigger World War III.
yeah,
And dude, Putin, bro, Putin wants that Ukrainian gas, bro,
yeah. He does.
and nothing's going to stop him.
Yeah,
If you go on social media, it doesn't matter what your hashtag is, bro. It's not
yeah,
going to stop Putin, bro.
yeah. Fact.
That's a KGB operative, bro.
But but if that is your prediction that Russia will take over Ukraine easily,
Mm,
um, don't you think this will be an ongoing cycle? Maybe not like in the immediate or short term, but in the long term, don't you think that it's gonna be an ongoing cycle because everybody or both sides of this whole thing, um, whether you see it as like the physical war in Ukraine or a cold war, because I think another cold war is basically taking place currently, right?
yeah.
Don't you think it's gonna keep being a game of chess? Like this is gonna be a repetitive cycle that may happen again, let's say in the next 10 years, for example. Because I think with America especially, I don't think they'll give up until they get what they want.
Mm,
You know. So
yeah.
what's your take on that?
Dude, I think as long as Vladimir Putin is in power,
Mm,
we've got a problem. I think
yeah.
maybe once there's a shift in leadership in Russia, and maybe a shift in the way Russia's sort of run as a country,
Yeah.
then we'll sort of see some change. But
Mm,
dude, Vladimir is another man, dude.
yeah. Yeah.
Vladimir has orchestrated this from the time he took power.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically overthrew the last president. He
Yeah.
came into power, put his boys where he wanted to put his boys,
Yeah.
and right now it's like this is the fruition of that plan.
Yeah.
To
Exactly.
you take Ukraine, dude, you don't need Belarus, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You need Ukraine. Ukraine's got minerals. Ukraine is a rich country. You need Ukraine. Once you get Ukraine, you've got power.
Exactly.
So, okay, fine, you sanction Russia, right? And there's tons of sanctions on Russia right now. The ruble is shambles.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what's happened to the rest of the world? We're all suffering. We
Mm,
have to pay, what is it, 20, 21 rand a liter.
yeah.
We're going to have to
It's
do that
crazy.
for a while until eventually they drop the sanctions.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, Russia, we kind of need you. You can be a country again.
Yeah.
But that's just going to have to be the case for a while until Putin's out of there, man.
Yeah.
And dude, Putin is like weird but crazy story, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, that guy came up from being a spy in the KGB to being the president of Russia, and then the prime minister, and then the president again, dude.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But even before that, like, I don't know if you've seen or read up on his story, this guy became the deputy mayor within like a very short period of time, you know, when he decided to work for the state.
St. Petersburg, yeah.
Yeah. So he's been very calculated, I think, from the beginning.
Of course.
I don't know where, okay, obviously he got his training from the KGB as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been very calculated, and I think he's had a grand plan from the beginning.
Oh, of course, dude. There's this interesting book. What's his name? So Lee Myers.
Yeah.
Lee Myers. Something Lee Myers, and it's called the next Tsar.
Yeah.
And it's literally about the next emperor of Russia. That's what Tsar means.
Yeah.
And in this book, he talks in depth about Putin's plan, about how he sort of, as a KGB operative, organized people in the KGB.
Yeah.
To meet him in the future when he was going to sort of take power.
Yeah.
And when Russia fell.
Yeah.
When the Soviet Union fell.
Yeah.
All of the state-owned assets had to be redistributed to the people.
Yeah.
And the president at the time, who did he redistribute it to? His boys, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
The oligarchs, right?
Yeah.
And those are the people who then held all of the money that what Russia had.
Yeah.
And those are the same people who are holding the money now.
Yeah.
And it's very, very similar to what South Africa goes through.
Yeah.
Where
absolutely.
we have Jacob Zuma, who has his cronies and has distributed all of South Africa's wealth to his cronies. And when you do that, what happens is you have power, you have influence over all of the money. Because you're the one who put the guy in power. You're the one who now has control of what he does, what he says. And if you're not with the plan, in Putin's case, RIP.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a very complicated thing. It's been brewing for years, and in my opinion, everyone knew it was just gonna pop off at some point.
Yeah.
And it's doing it now while the world is at its weakest point, just after recovering from COVID and all of that. So I think if there was ever a time to do it, now's the time. Now we'll see what he's made of. So it's very, very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and I think one of his plays, which was very smart, after he took over from Boris Yeltsin, was that he got rid of a lot of because in the previous president's time, the oligarchs somewhat had an influence on political affairs.
Yes.
But what Putin now did was, you're not going to influence politics. Yeah. You're not going to influence me, and you're not going to threaten me.
I am the politics.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to tell me what to do and how to handle my affairs. And he got people in that he knew would be loyal to him, kind of thing. So I think that's what was smart from his perspective, because now he's ultimately in control.
Yes.
And these guys are at his mercy.
There's no stopping him.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever's going to happen is going to run its course before we can see what the repercussion is or what the overall effect on the world is.
Yeah.
It's going to run its course. So either Putin is not there anymore and someone else rises to power that is going to be, a sensible guy.
Yeah.
Or Putin wins, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, I don't know, man. You want to go fight for Russia, dude? You're going to have to. Because that's where South Africa's aligned, bro.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like, I saw something where they were saying that he's actually in a position where he feels as if, because obviously there was another president after his previous term, and I think he feels as if he steps down now, there's nobody that's going to defend him or protect him.
Yes.
So he has to basically take matters into his own hands and be like, fuck everyone, I'm doing what I need to do, and if you don't like it, then, that's your problem. But I don't think he's going to give up his presidency, because he knows there's no person that can succeed him that's going to protect him.
Yes.
And make his protection a priority.
Yeah.
Because you know how people are, bro. Like, even we watch mafia movies all the time. If
I've watched Scarface 300 times, bro.
Me, the Godfather trilogy.
100%.
I think I have a weekend where I watch that thing. I have a weekend dedicated to the Godfather trilogy.
Yes.
Annually, bro.
Dude,
and
just off topic, bro.
Yeah.
I think every entrepreneur has that weekend, bro.
Yeah.
If you think about it, man. You speak to anyone who's building a business, they've watched Scarface.
Yeah. Bro, like, speaking of like these mafia movies and Scarface and whatnot, um, if we compare it to what happens in reality with the
Yeah.
bad guy, right? Which Putin is seen as the bad guy.
That's
For
the
example,
ultimate crime boss right there, dude.
I think I've spoken about this in a previous episode. But for me, bro, like, somehow I'm wired to always want the bad guy to win, bro.
No, okay. Tito, bro. If Putin wins, bro, it's over for us, dog.
I'm not saying I want
Do
him to
not be
win.
rooting for Putin.
I'm not saying I want him to win. But I'm always fascinated by the villain, bro. For some reason.
Yeah, because, I mean, I think it's why we gravitate towards mob movies and stuff. I think it's because power and influence is a crazy thing, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a human being, dude.
Yeah.
Putin's a human being, and you got a taste of power and influence, and now he's starting a world war.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you could tap into that power that you have inside of you.
Yeah.
To create influence, start a business, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine what you could do. So
Crazy.
I think that's the reason why a lot of entrepreneurs, why we gravitate towards the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because maybe we may not have bad intentions in mind, but we have intentions of power and influence.
Yeah.
Maybe in a good way, but it's still the same thing, just
Yeah.
a different way of doing things.
Yeah. Do you ever think about what your mindset or what your mentality would be if you were in that position? Because we're all quick to be like Putin this, Putin that, this politician, this Zuma this, whatever the case may be. But we actually don't know what our actions would be or what we do if we were in that position or if we had that much power.
Dude, I'll just buy Bitcoin, to be honest with you. I'd buy all the Bitcoin, dude. That's what I would do, man.
Yeah.
And that's, you know what, that's the same answer I give for everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But nah, it's just an interesting thing. I speak to people often about this, and then when they actually think about it, they're like, oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. To a lot of Russian people, I mean, we see one perspective in the news where people are like, no, we don't want war and stuff like that. But to a lot of older Russian people especially, the Soviet Union is Ukraine. It is Belarus. It is those countries.
Yeah.
So you've just stolen their land. You've
Yeah.
stolen like a part of who they are as a people. And especially the older people will not stand for that, dude.
Yeah.
So there's a new generation coming in, and it's like, we got Ukraine. We have Zelensky, who was an actor,
Yeah.
and
That was funny.
There was you see the video I shared on Instagram, dude.
Just
real
give
thing,
a bit of
man.
context on that.
Yeah, man. There was this video going around the internet where it was just one of the movies the president of Ukraine was in, and he was talking about joining NATO.
Yeah.
And basically, Angela Merkel called him, says, "We're gonna get you to join, join NATO." Oh, sorry, is this Ukraine? No, we thought this was some other country. My bad. And he hangs up the phone and starts, "Fuck Putin, man! Damn Putin!" And if you think about it, that guy is president of Ukraine, dude. We're fighting against Putin in real life, man.
Yeah.
And I think the moral of the story there is we're living in a simulation.
We are,
That's
bro,
not
because
real life,
you know what
dude.
the thing is.
No way.
You know what the thing is, bro. In the world that we live in today, I wouldn't be surprised if that was like some propaganda, bro.
Who knows, man? Maybe
You know what I'm
maybe
saying?
Zelensky is one of Putin's bros, dude. Who
You
knows,
never
man?
know. You never know. But yeah, bro, just to go back to the Russian oligarchs for a second. Of course, no other country, America, the West, they're not gonna go into Russia, right?
Yeah.
To start a war, they're not gonna go close to the borders because they don't want that type of situation.
And you lose
Then
as
it's gonna-
well. You
it's
can't
gonna cause
attack
problems.
Russia. You lose.
Yeah. So obviously sanctions are going to happen, and when sanctions happen, the rich in Russia are going to be affected. And we know the rich is a very organized, deliberate set of people that have been put where they are put for specific reasons. Excuse me. So, with that being said, of course, sanctions are going to happen and they're going to be affected, because I saw something where they said that all the household income in Russia doesn't even, it's like a drop of in the ocean, like in comparison to how much money these guys have,
Dude,
these oligarchs.
I heard that 500 people in Russia have 99% of the wealth of Russia. 500 people, dude.
That's crazy.
And if you think about it, man, like Putin, it's not just you think about like the guys who own the mines and stuff like that, who are the oligarchs and stuff. Putin orchestrated this system where you've got your billionaires,
Yeah.
you have your politicians, and then you have Russian mafia,
Yeah.
and all of that is all tied together.
Yeah, and it's
So-
one ecosystem that has been placed there for specific reasons
Mhm.
and specific outcomes, right?
Yes.
So, but now the thing is, none of the money or majority of the money that they're generating is not going back into Russia.
Of course not, dude.
It's
Have you
all
seen
outside.
Russia, bro? Dude, if you don't look at Moscow, bro, go look at pictures of Russia. It's a shit old country, bro.
Yeah, bro. I even saw that they're, like, in terms of, like, their GDP, like, they were saying that it's worse than India's even.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
crazy.
Well, you see, the thing about Russia is, and it's quite interesting about Russia, is that they've got oil and they have gas, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to get more, bro. But that's what they have, and that's where all of their fucking GDP is going. Dude, name me 5 Russian tech companies. No, name me 5 Russian companies that are not in oil or gas. You probably can't do it, right?
Nah.
And the thing is,
Gazprom.
what happens when all of your resources is coming from 1 or 2 industries?
Yeah.
There's no room, or all of the money is centered around those 2 industries. What happens to the rest of the country? There's no innovation. If there's no innovation, you don't breed people who are creative.
Yeah, true.
So you have people who are completely just living day to day.
Yeah.
Like
In
zombies, dude. Because
Yeah.
they're not allowed to be creative, and there's no platform to be creative, and there's no.
They can't even aspire to make the amount of money those people are making.
Of
Because
course
it's not a level playing field.
And the thing is, that's why I'm saying, like, there's no like great Russian tech companies or whatever, whatever industry you want to talk about, is because those people don't have the mindset to think about innovation.
Exactly.
And in those kinds of industries, in tech, you have to have people who are game changers and super innovative and super engineers, basically, trying to get whatever platform, whatever they're starting up,
Yeah. Yeah.
to the freaking moon, bro. And that's just not going to happen if every single resource in your country is pointed to oil or gas.
Exactly. So just to go back to my point, now, okay, all these other countries in the West and in America are tax havens for these billionaires, right? And now the sanctions have hit, their assets are being frozen, and some of them are even pressuring Putin to end the war because
Yes.
they can see that it's a dire situation for them personally.
All the Chelsea fans.
So yeah, all of them. So logically, I understand why the sanctions are happening, and I see why they would happen. But what's your take on, like, the media scrutiny on Russian billionaires and the corruption, like them painting them in that light? It's the truth.
Yeah.
However,
Wanted
don't
to
you
to
think
South
it's
Africa
don't you
and-
think it's quite
and America.
hypocritical?
Yeah, it is, dude. It is, in a way, it is. Okay, so here's the thing, dude. Corruption, especially corruption at that mass scale,
Yeah.
it's disgusting. It shouldn't happen, but it does happen in every
Yeah,
single
true.
country.
Yeah, true.
Whether it's America or look, the UK,
South Africa.
Lord knows, dude.
Yeah.
But it's always present.
Yeah.
America has a very clever way of dealing, well, not dealing, but really making it seem
Yeah.
like it's not such a bad thing, but it's happening in the background.
Yeah.
It's just that the way that corruption happens is, okay, we'll take 20%, not 100%, like the way it happens in Russia
Yeah.
and not in South Africa, basically. But it's a narrative, man.
Yeah.
It's a narrative, and Putin has been pushing a certain narrative, and the American media push a certain narrative.
Yeah.
And that narrative is obviously this is all bad, but pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to us
Yeah.
and what we're doing. So
Exactly.
propaganda is always there. It's always been there.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask, the last American election with Trump was rigged
Yeah.
via Russia. So, it's wild, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because I think about it and I'm like, you guys are out here saying, yeah, he's a criminal, get him out of here, freeze all their assets, whatever the case may be. In the Premier League, for example, they've now frozen the Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich's assets. Right? But I can guarantee you, there's other owners like in the league who are probably doing the same, if not worse, things in order to generate their wealth. Because I think there's a misconception about billionaires, and I think everybody wants to dream, of
Mhm.
course, you know,
Yeah.
to be a billionaire or to be super successful, whatever the case may be. But I don't think anyone ever thinks about the risk and the cost involved, as well as the sacrifice involved, especially from a moral compass point of view.
Yes.
You know, the sacrifices that come around that in order to be that type of person or that individual.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody really thinks about that.
Yeah, man. But I think a lot of people have, well, everyone has cognitive biases.
Mm.
And, one of the big cognitive biases that you have to sort of deal with
Yeah.
if you want to get successful in anything you do, whether it's in the creative side, whether it's business or whatever, is, dude, you would think good people do good things, bad people do bad things, but it's more nuanced than that,
True.
Sometimes as a good person, you're going to have to do things that are a little bit, to get
True.
ahead. And
True.
that's the truth. It's like if you go look at any great tech entrepreneur, or you go look at any great, any maverick of industry,
Yeah.
I doubt that every single thing that they've done has been good.
No.
And of course, there's a line. Okay,
Exactly.
try not to annex a country. Don't do that, bro. But
Yeah.
but sometimes you're gonna have to, especially in terms of taking risk
Mm.
and what you're taking risk on,
Yeah.
is very, very important.
Yeah.
And the thing is, mate, if you're trying to make it in anything and you don't want to take risk, you're not gonna get anywhere.
Nah, you won't, because there's gonna be 100 other guys that are gonna take that risk
Mhm.
and get ahead of you.
100%.
You
While
know,
you're
and
still
while
trying
you're
to
still
be the good guy.
contemplating
Yeah.
whether or not this goes against your moral compass, whatever the case may be, then you're getting left behind, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a great quote I read on Twitter the other day, bro.
Yeah.
Scared money don't make no money.
That's true.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because also, like, with this whole moral compass, whatever, like, I just feel as if you need to decide what it is that you want to go for it, because everybody sees different individuals in a different light depending on the circumstances. So, for example, if I'm John Gotti, who was a famous guy in the mafia in the US, if you ask people from his community what type of guy he is, they'll tell you all good things about it.
Yep.
This guy's a good guy.
Mhm.
You know, he used to help my son with this. He invested money in this school, whatever, like, causes in society, whatever the case may be. So it all depends on how you see the person, like how they present themselves in different situations is all a factor as well.
Yeah, no, of
You know
course,
what I'm
man.
saying?
I mean, if you look at a South African example, I don't know if you know who Teddy Mafia is. He
Name rings a
died.
bell.
Yeah, he died a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He was been murdered. He
Yeah.
was a gangster.
Yeah.
And dude, if you go ask the Indian community where he was like stationed,
Oh, I remember that.
about this guy, they'll only speak highly of him because
Exactly.
where the government was not helping them out, Teddy Mafia was.
Exactly.
And if you think about it, like that community wasn't getting anything from anyone
Yeah.
except the crime boss.
Exactly.
And yeah, when he died, bro, it was like a whole thing, dude.
Yeah.
It was like the president of a country had died.
Yeah.
In that community. But of course, that guy was a massive drug dealer, probably murdered many people. So hey, dude,
Yeah.
perspective.
Then I guess
Don't do
that's,
drugs, don't sell drugs. Just by the way.
I guess that's what begs the question, then who are the good guys really? You know what I mean? Because obviously we live in an organized society. We have government, we have law enforcement, we have all these things around us
Yeah.
that were created to basically control us and to create order.
Yes.
However, in them trying to create order and to control society in a certain way, you have people taking advantage of that power.
Mm-hmm.
And then when someone else, who's a disruptor,
Yeah.
comes through, starts selling drugs, whatever the case may be, basically does the same thing, right? But in a different way.
Yeah.
Then it's seen as, nah, this guy's bad. He needs to be locked up, whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's also very nuanced why people get into crime, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in South Africa, there's so many people who are doing crime not because they want to do crime, because they kind of have to.
Yeah.
And then there's guys who are watching Instagram, seeing people on Gucci and stuff. It's like, how do I get Gucci, man?
Yeah, true.
Damn, all I want to do is get Gucci.
Yeah.
So What do they do? What's the easiest way to get Gucci? Is you run the corners, man. You run the corners, work your way up.
Yeah, especially in South Africa. I mean, like, we don't have the best examples of leadership. I mean, if you seeing your leaders driving certain cars, wearing certain clothes, drinking certain alcohol, always going to certain events, because I feel like a lot of our politicians want to be celebrities.
Yeah.
So if you see that as a normal citizen, and you live in a 1-bedroom shack, I was in the Northern Cape this past week, and there's this guy that I work with, and I went to his community to go and get something, and bro, it's just people living in squalor, bro, like shacks, and I was just like, people shouldn't be living like this, bro,
at all.
So if you come from that kind of community, and you're seeing like all your leaders living the way that they live in
prosperity,
exactly, you're gonna do whatever it takes to try and get out of that.
Yeah, unfortunately, what it takes is sometimes in South Africa, most of the time, it's doing something incredibly corrupt. I mean, let's be honest, man. Like, if you wanted to be a powerful political person, you're not going to do it fair in South Africa. It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do things that are,
yeah,
not so great, but that's the way that you do work your way up.
Yeah.
It's about taking care of your friends, dude. That's literally what it is about. I mean, if you think about it, if you had to start a business, you take care of your friends as well.
Exactly.
It's just that they're working with taxpayer money, and that's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of making it in South Africa, especially financially, obviously in the past, I'd say 20 years, how to generate finances, currency, that's all been evolving at a rapid rate. And I've been speaking to you about web3
yes
for some time now, because I remember going online and always seeing whatever NFT, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on, bro? Why am I seeing like cartoon characters? What's going on? What is this?
Well, firstly, dude, I've been trying to incept your mind, bro, on my Instagram stories, bro.
You've been.
So, well, dude, like, I love the crypto space. I love NFTs. I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's also kind of why, like, I wanted to have this discussion as well. So maybe I can orange pull more people.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I think the world is changing, man. I mean, there's this fantastic book I highly recommend called The Fourth Turning.
Yeah.
And it basically outlines the way the world is changing.
Yeah.
It talks about the different eras that the world finds itself and how it repeats in cycles all the time. And we're on the precipice of moving into a fourth turning, which is a complete reset of society, of civilization. And it really is that. Like, dude, if you think China is not going to be the next superpower, you in dreamland. If you think you shouldn't be looking out for the next evolution of what maybe the internet is.
Yeah.
You're living in dreamland. We're in this zone right now where something giant is about to be built. And I believe that thing is Web3. And that's why I feel so passionate about it. That's why you always see me posting about it, because I want my friends, my family to see the opportunity. Because the thing is, it's there, it's being built. The infrastructure is completely young. And the opportunity for you to really thrive in life comes from being a part of that space. Web3 it's more than just NFTs. It's more than just Bitcoin and Ethereum and what people think cryptocurrency is, something to trade for rands and dollars. It's more than that. This ecosystem that's been built is going to house our financial future. It's a more effective and efficient way of carrying out finance. DeFi, decentralized finance, is the future. If you can get in now, you're getting in early. I mean, if I told you buy shares in Apple right now, you'd be like, okay, Apple's a big company, maybe I'll make 20% this year or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you had bought Apple shares in the 90s, when everyone was like, this internet thing is not a thing. What is the internet? I'd rather send my mail through the post office.
Yeah.
That was the opportunity. That's where you should have gotten in.
Yeah.
Because if you had gotten in the development of the internet in 2001,
yeah,
no matter if the price had come down or what of certain stocks, you would have been one of the founders of the development of Web2, of the internet at the time.
Yeah.
Isn't that where you want to be? Isn't that the opportunity everyone is looking for? And I'm sold on the fact that Web3 is where it's going to happen. Yeah. Web3 is the next evolution of the internet, and you spend your entire life on the internet. The coronavirus pandemic, it's taught us that.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to an office anymore. You can just open your laptop. On that same laptop is this whole world that is evolving between, in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in crypto for a year and a half. It's not even that long.
Yeah.
The amount of growth, personally, financially, freedom-wise, that has happened in that space, that small space, is so exponential, so significant that I probably cannot think of one other thing that could have sparked that growth.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I post, man. It's literally, hey, just start taking a look, start doing some research, because we're on the precipice of this new thing that everyone needs to adopt. And it can be so simple entering that space once you understand how to get into it.
Yeah.
So if you'll see, like, the stuff that I do post is very simplified.
Yeah.
Because I want you to sort of understand the very basics of how you can sort of enter this world.
Yeah.
The very first thing everyone does when they get into crypto is what? They go buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because you go open a Luna account or a Valar account, and you go put 1,000 rand in there.
Yeah.
And say, let me just buy some Bitcoin. Let me see what happens. Somewhere along the line, after you've bought your first 1,000 rand of Bitcoin, the price is going to go up or the price is going to go down.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is, when the price goes down, you're going to say, why am I losing money? If the price goes up, why, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Why am I making money? And that's where you first start getting into it.
Yeah.
The ball starts rolling, and you start doing a little bit more research into what's going on.
Yeah.
And once you just enter that zone of doing research to what's going on, you enter Web3.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I mean, you think of Web3 as the metaverse. That's the most common phrase that's used now, the metaverse. And you think about putting some VR goggles on, and you've been walking around some GTA lifestyle. Yeah. It's not what it is, man. It's not what it is. It's not what it is right now, at least.
Yeah.
Right now, we have this world where you can take your finances to the next level.
Yeah.
You can take, if you want to start a business, you can start a business on Web3.
Yeah.
And it can grow exponentially. And the thing is, the infrastructure has not been built. It is sketchy. It is sketchy. People can steal your crypto and all of that very easily if you're not careful.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you can sort of understand and learn as you go along, the world starts opening up where all the opportunity exists. And that's sort of what I think about it, man.
And we're obviously gonna get into NFTs. But you said Web3 is not just NFTs. So if you had to break down Web3 into different components, how would you define it? Obviously, you explained what it is, but how would you define it in terms of its components and industries?
Okay, so I think, like, very broadly, I think there's 3 archetypes of people that enter Web3. Okay, so you bought your little Bitcoin, then you've diversified your portfolio. Now you've bought Ethereum.
Yeah. And
now you want to know, how do I get more Ethereum?
Yeah.
Okay, Ethereum is the main one. There's other chains like Solana, Matic, which is level 2, but let's just stick with Ethereum for this example. You buy your Ethereum, and you start thinking, how do I get more Ethereum? So the first option, very easy. You can buy Ethereum with rands, right? And you do that, and now you've got more Ethereum. But what if I told you could make more Ethereum without spending any more rands?
Yeah.
That's where it begins. So from there, You can enter DeFi. With DeFi, it's with decentralized finance. You can start investing basically,
Yeah.
and it's like how you would manage normal finances.
Yeah.
It's just on Web3. And back to the archetypes. So there's people who want community, because that's what Web3 is. It's very community based.
Yeah.
Which we can get to in depth. There's people that want to collect, because that's something there's so much money that can be made in collecting.
Yeah.
But there's people that literally just want art, for example. And then there's people who want bags, bro.
Yeah.
Like, real talk, dude. Like that's why I got into crypto at all, man. I just wanted to make bags, bro.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
there was no like.
No, I want to make money. No, money,
Yeah.
bro, money.
Yeah.
But it's obviously evolved since that time, where you start looking at, well, for me personally, it's like, how can I contribute to building something great in this environment?
Yeah.
But those are really the three reasons why you get into Web3.
Yeah.
So with NFTs now, very simply put, all three of those archetypes can exist, but most people choose one of those archetypes.
Yeah.
So with NFT specifically, you can buy an NFT and flip it and make some money.
Yeah.
And I assure you that the amount of Ethereum you can make doing that it's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Just an example, I bought an NFT last week for 0.2 Ethereum.
Yeah.
It's called Loser Club. And dude, in 4 days, 5 days, it was worth double that.
Yeah.
Like, what other asset classes, what other asset is doing that? And the answer is nothing.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's definitely risk. You can buy, collections that are nothing. But if you really do your research, it becomes quite glaring what's going to work and what's not going to work. So
yeah.
it becomes easier to distinguish what you should invest your money in.
Yeah.
And once you can understand how to buy an NFT, the process is so simple. You go on Luno, you buy Ethereum. You move Ethereum to a MetaMask wallet. From MetaMask, you connect it to an OpenSea.io account. Okay. And from there, you can go browse whatever NFT you want to buy. And then click buy, dude. And then you own an NFT.
Yeah.
And in the same way, you can sell it just as easily. And it's not adopted widely by billions of people. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stocks are, bonds are.
Yeah.
Buying commodities is, but NFTs is not.
Yeah.
So once again, you're entering this space where we know there's exponential growth that's possible.
Yeah.
But you're doing it from a place that is it's uncharted. It's uncharted, and that's what also makes me so interested in this.
Yeah.
Is that you're part of building and developing this thing as you're going along. While you're learning, organizations, decentralized organizations rather, are also learning, and they're building the infrastructure for this to make it more safe, to make it more accessible, make it easier to navigate. So yeah, it's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
What was your question again, bro?
Can't even remember. I was so plugged in. But for someone who doesn't understand what an NFT is, like, how would you define an NFT? What is an NFT?
Okay, so NFT stands for non-fungible token. Okay, so fungible basically means it can be reproduced, right?
Yeah.
So the US dollar is fungible. You can print more dollars out of thin air.
Yeah.
Non-fungible tokens means once something is minted, you can't make more of it.
Yeah.
It's there, right? It's not going to be able to be reproduced.
Yeah.
And that's where you get into rarity. So when an NFT gets minted, it has a certain rarity. It makes it valuable. So adds value to it.
Yeah.
And then, it's artists, creatives, music producers. Dude, there's so many different ways that people can create NFTs in their own image.
Yeah.
With their own art or creative side in mind. And they basically create this this asset. That's what it is. They create this asset that has value that people can buy and people can sell.
Yeah.
That's very fundamentally what it is. And then with any asset, there's going to be the cream that rises to the top.
Yeah.
And those NFTs have more value compared to other ones, right?
Yeah.
So you start looking for what are the variables that makes a certain NFT valuable, and one of them is community. So how do people react to this thing? How do they behave once they own it? How do they behave if they want to own it? Those are things that you can look at. Marketing of certain projects.
Yeah.
Like say what you will about marketing, but the thing is, if an NFT project, no matter how good the art is,
Yeah.
if it's not marketable and if no one knows about it, there's no attention being paid to it, it flops, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another variable. The other variable is like, what is the utility of it? I mean, we can talk about this at length for hours.
Yeah.
But there's NFTs right now that are coming out that are providing so much of value to people.
Yeah.
That it's literally out of this world.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what Bored Ape Yacht Club is.
No. What is it?
So Bored Ape Yacht Club is the ultimate NFT.
Yeah.
And
is that a community or?
It's a collection.
Okay.
It's a collection of 10,000 Bored Apes, right?
Yeah.
And you could have bought a Bored Ape for a couple $1,000.
Sorry to disturb.
Sure.
Is that the? I think I've seen the pictures. Is that the one? Different apes.
Yeah.
But customized, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
I think I've
it's
seen
it's
them.
unique. So every single ape is different. There's no two that are the same, and that's basically every project is like that. There's no two that are the same, but the artwork is all sort of in line. So
Yeah.
you can see what collection that is basically. But you could have bought this thing for a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
A couple $1,000, dude. A year ago. Dude, it's not 10 years ago.
Yeah.
A year ago, bro.
Yeah.
And what has happened is a community. So it was also one of the first NFTs that also makes its value a bit better because everyone is now aware of what that is. Everyone who's gotten into the space knows what Bored Ape Yacht Club is.
Yeah.
And they created this incredible community. They were hosting yacht parties, hence the name.
Yeah.
And if you owned one, you get into the yacht party. And what ended up happening is they built this ecosystem around this 10,000 collection. It's just 10,000 pictures of monkeys, bro. But they built an ecosystem around it where they launched their own token.
Yeah.
Their own token that can be exchanged for Ethereum or USD or whatever.
Yeah.
And they airdropped it, which means they gave it for free to the holders of NFTs, of those NFTs, right?
Mm.
So here's the thing, right? They got airdropped 10,000 ape tokens. So
Yeah.
free money, right? You know how much that is worth, bro?
How much?
Like 2.5 million rand.
Sure.
Dude, there are people who bought these things for a couple $1,000 who just got 2.5 million rand for free.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, you want to talk to me about the Apple shares, bro? Come
Yeah.
on, bro. So that's one way these ecosystems have been built around NFTs.
Yeah.
And of course, there's many different variations of what these NFTs are. There's music NFTs, and there's and all of these different things. But the main thing is profile picture NFTs. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
10,000 collections of profile picture NFTs is what is being traded the most. The most volume is going. There are one-of-one NFTs from like famous artists. They don't do very well in terms of holding value, but people buy them because they're in it for the art, right? Like as we said, that's their main focus. I want to buy this for the art. Or they want to collect as well, of course. But the guys who are trading, dude, they're trading 10,000 NFTs, and dude, they're killing it, man.
Yeah.
Your boy is killing it as well. So,
So, bro, I just want to ask. So, in terms of like, let's say the image, let's say like your profile picture on social media,
sure,
right? And then you get different guys on Twitter as well that have these NFTs as their profile pictures. How do you determine, right, what is authentic and what is fake? So, for example, if I take your profile picture and I duplicate it, for example, what's the process around um, what is the security around NFTs and
Okay, in
preventing
terms
it
of
from getting duplicated or reused to
okay,
make money, like someone else taking your
yeah,
NFT to go and make money.
yeah,
Like how is that restricted or controlled?
yeah. So it's actually very interesting. So of course you can right click save someone's
Yeah,
NFT, bro,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and now you've got a picture, a screenshot of that person's NFT.
yeah,
And the thing is, that doesn't matter, man.
yeah,
It doesn't matter, dude. Because the thing is, I can also screenshot a picture of Salvador Dali's work.
yeah, yeah,
It doesn't mean I own it. So what's interesting is with NFTs, because it's minted on the blockchain, is it has its unique ID
yeah.
that cannot be replicated because it's non fungible.
I
And that
see.
unique ID basically says this person owns this piece of art, and that's in the contract, right?
Yeah,
So you can't steal that in terms of the IP.
yeah.
So that's basically how you own that piece of art.
Okay, I see. I see. And with the Web3 phenomenon, what do you think the future of currency is globally in terms of the economy that the whole world is operating on now?
Mm.
With this phenomenon, what do you think the future of currency is?
Dude, so we talked about the changing world order. By the way, there's a great video by Ray Dalio on the changing world order. I
Yeah,
highly recommend going and watching that. It also talks about how the American empire is falling and the Chinese empire is now beginning to rise.
yeah,
Um, in the same way the Chinese empire is starting to rise, I feel that finances as we know it has to change.
yeah,
We don't have a choice anymore. I mean, we can't infinitely print money and hope our problems go away
yeah,
because
yeah,
money is backed by debt, and
mm,
that debt has to be paid back by
yeah,
someone.
yeah,
I think honestly that our current financial system in the next 10 years will break down, fall.
yeah,
And I think that crypto is the one that's going to come and save the day
yeah,
because you can't print more Bitcoin. It's not possible. You,
mm,
you can't, if you're an entity, as we said, you can't replicate that.
yeah,
That asset is stored. It's stored on the blockchain, and it can only be accessed by you.
yeah, yeah.
It's yours. SARS. Should we say SARS? Don't think I'm hunting for me SARS. but the government SARS nothing. They can't freeze your wallet. It's your money. And
Yeah,
I think I'm very libertarian, so of course, but I think that's the way it should be.
yeah,
And people should have more control over their money
mm,
and where their money flows to. I think it becomes way more efficient to have that sort of system
yeah,
in Web3. And, as the blockchain evolves, as security evolves, the rate of adoption by people is going to flood into the space.
yeah,
And when it does, in the next 5 years, it's going to be like too late. Like
yeah,
it's going to be,
yeah,
it's when it's widely adopted. If you're getting in 5 years, you're going to say, oh, I should have got in 10 years. The
yeah,
same way you're probably saying that about getting into Bitcoin now.
yeah,
Because like when was the best time to get into Bitcoin? Probably 2010, around 2010.
mm,
When's the second best time to get into Bitcoin? Right now, dude.
yeah,
So the thing is, it's when is the mass adoption going to come? I think it's going to be when there's a giant break in our current financial systems.
yeah,
And we're already seeing it, man. We're already seeing it. Like, I went to San Francisco, for example,
yeah,
in 2015. And I wanted to move to San Francisco. It was a beautiful city. It was like my dream to go live there.
yeah,
San Francisco now is a shithole, man.
mm,
There's homeless people everywhere. Drugs are rampant. You wouldn't want to go live in San Francisco
yeah,
unless you were forced to because of your tech job or whatever. But the world is changing in the fact that the world is breaking down.
mm,
And what is going to save us is changing into a new system. A new
yeah,
system where individuals are self-sovereign, where individuals can have that control over their lives, what they want to do,
yeah,
where they want to do it. And Web3 is going to definitely be the catalyst for well, will rather be the platform for that to happen.
Yeah. And do you think the global establishment is keen on this evolution? Or do you think they want to actually continue holding on to traditional economic structures?
Dude, if you had all your money in a business in that operates in rands,
Yeah.
why are you talking about Bitcoin, dude? Why would you want to talk about Bitcoin?
Yeah.
The thing is, those people are going to get left in the dust, right? The people who don't adopt the stuff are going to get left in the dust. And it's the people who come in now and adopt it early are going to be the ones who thrive in this, right? So the thing is, of course, there's pushback. There's pushback by governments. There's pushback by a lot of influencers who are saying no. And they have many, many motives of why they don't want people to get into it. And a lot of their arguments are 100% correct.
Yeah.
Security is a big problem on the blockchain. It is. Right now it is. People get scammed all the time with Bitcoin because it's so easy to transfer money and not be able to know who you transferred money to, for example.
Yeah.
It's the reason why everything is so volatile in this space.
Yeah. Because
one day a country like India, for example, bans Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin goes down because now you've isolated 1 billion people from using Bitcoin. And then what happens is 3 months later, India then says, no, Bitcoin is legal tender again.
Yeah.
And, well, not legal tender, but you can buy Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
And things change again. If a country's decision making is that volatile, what's that going to do to the price? Of course, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But you sort of have to take that risk on, and you're going to have to be able to live with the volatility.
Yeah.
Don't go put all of your money, for example, into one thing. Diversify, and eventually, when the world catches up, you would have already built that foundation for you to thrive in the space.
Yeah. And I think we are living in a generation or a time in the world that's full of ideas and concepts and evolution. One guy that's always speaking about his ideas and his concepts. A guy I respect a lot, but confuses me quite a bit as well. It's Kanye West. Kanye West. What's going on with that man, bro?
That guy just used to buy Bitcoin, bro. That's the thing, dude.
Yeah.
No, man. Did you watch the documentary?
Yes. Genius. Brilliant,
dude.
Brilliant.
Loved it, dude.
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, okay, Kanye West is a genius, undoubtedly. The way he did it is what gets me. Oh, dude, it just inspires me so much, man.
Yeah.
I know, like, the thing about that documentary is, can you believe they have so much of footage of this guy coming up?
Nah.
Like, I can't believe, like, this has just existed this whole time.
And it takes a lot for someone, like, to stick with another person's dream for that long. Most times, I mean, we all get caught up in our own lives and our own dreams and our own aspirations, I guess, are our personal responsibility. And it's rare for somebody to be like, you know what, I'm going to take my time and my resources and follow this guy.
Yes.
Because I see something in him. It takes a lot for somebody to do that. So it's crazy that they actually stuck with him for that long.
Yeah.
Until he ultimately became what he became. I don't know what it is that you have to see in someone. Because, I mean, we meet talented people all the time.
Yeah.
But I think especially now in this generation, maybe because times were a bit different back then, I think we are a consumer generation. So a new album drops this week or a new series drops, it's old news next week. There's something else for you looking for the next thing. So maybe that's why I think something like that wouldn't be as prevalent in today's society.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's mad that these guys stuck with him for that long.
Hey man, I'll tell you this. That guy manifested everything he has. I know you into this stuff as well. You into energy. You into the law of attraction, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Are you?
I am, but like I've got a take on that. Though. I've got a take on that. We'll discuss that.
Okay, but the thing is, if you have burning desire, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing that can stop you. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because if your mindset is on prosperity,
Yeah.
That's one thing, right? But if your mindset is on, I'm going to become the greatest in whatever I want to do,
Yeah.
you know, enter whatever that is, you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite quotes is when a ship sets sail with no port in mind, no wind is favorable. If you know where the fuck you're going to,
exactly,
things start opening up, opportunities started presenting themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about that Kanye documentary is you saw it in real time. This guy was telling everyone, dude, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, I'm a god, whatever, from the beginning.
Yeah.
And look where he is now.
Yeah.
Well, not right now. Right now he's banned on Instagram, but you get what I'm saying. He's built this phenomenal brand, and his brand has withstood the test of time.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about
and
that,
it's still going.
Still going.
Still a machine.
And you know, like, okay, so obviously working in influencer marketing and stuff for a long time, I've sort of seen this happen. You know,
Yeah.
like people have their 15 minutes. Some people have a year. Some people have 5.
Yeah.
But dude, to maintain, it's not just fame, but the desire and also the grind.
Yeah.
Is difficult, man. It's absolutely difficult. And that guy was just able not only to maintain all of that stuff, but he was also able to adapt and evolve.
Yeah.
And I think that's also one of the things I took out of that, is that you must have goal, obviously, burning desire to do it. Shout out Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill, go read that if you haven't. But once you have those things, when the opportunity presents itself,
Yeah.
or you have to take it. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. And I just want to go back to what you're saying about law of attraction. And all that. I think it's been like very misconstrued.
Yeah.
And I think it's those terms and those ideas and perspectives on how to attract abundance, how to find abundance, how to find joy, how to find peace, how to have gratitude, for example. I feel like people have abused ideas around that, to be honest. And it's kind of annoying as well, because everything is I'm attracting this, law of attraction, that. But nobody actually really has burning desire that you talk about, or the action to back up whatever it is that they believe. They're just throwing these terms around. But
bro, I think what you're saying, most people don't actually want the things that they say they put it on a vision board and try and manifest. They don't actually want those things.
Yeah.
It's for example, like the most common thing is people are going to tell you about maybe the country they want to live in, or the house they want to buy and the car they want to live in, right? And that's the thing. For a lot of people, if you really, really dig down in your soul, that's not what you want.
Yeah, true.
It's not what you want, man.
It's not.
And it's if
and
you
once
can,
you get it, you might not even be happy.
well, you're not going
You
to
think
be, right?
that you think that's what's gonna fulfill you and make you happy. But once you have it, it's just like most material objects. You know, like when you like, I want this thing. You work hard for it. You order it online. You get it. You're super excited when you unbox it and you get it. But then like a few weeks later, it's just like, oh, it's there.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think the gratification is super short term. Not for everybody. Some people actually really want these things.
Yes.
And these things
And they go out and get it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then with certain people, I think they want to manifest and attract these things. However, they end up not being fulfilled once they get them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, what's the next thing now?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So I think it's very basic, and this is something I struggled with a lot, because I look at me, dude. Like all I ever wanted to do was be rich, man, as a child, and I didn't understand why.
Yeah.
And it took many years of really digging down, you know, doing a lot of like a lot of work in figuring out who I am before I could figure out what it is I really want.
Yeah.
If you don't know who you are, if you really don't, if you just have a rough idea even, and you're trying to manifest something, you're probably going to manifest the wrong thing, because you're manifesting from a point of someone else, or someone else's expectations, or someone else's perspective of what success is.
Yeah.
What does success and happiness look like to you? And you know what the thing is, man? You gotta. There's a quote that goes, "Prepare for sorry, I can't even think about it right now. Pray for peace, prepare for war.
Yeah.
And I read that, and it was like, okay, I get that, I
Mm.
get that. But really, I remixed it, man. And it's pray for peace, prepare for peace.
Yeah.
You got to be preparing for the happiness that you want to get in 10 years.
Yeah.
Because the car's not going to make you happy.
Mm.
Your happiness is going to make you happy.
Exactly.
So it all starts in the present, you know?
Mm.
Like, who am I in the present? Am I happy in the present?
Yeah.
If you're not happy in the present right now, it means that there's something that needs to change.
Exactly.
There's a different course that you need to be taking
Mm.
to make sure that you are that person who you are, you know, right now.
Yeah.
And from there, from that place of power, you can build.
Mm.
That's the foundation of where you build who you are as a person
Yeah.
in the future, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk about Kanye, man.
Mm.
Like I was saying, dude, I'm a god.
Yeah.
Then 2004,
Mm.
and it was about taking the opportunities when they presented themselves, and never backing down
Yeah.
from that. You want to call it a mission statement,
Mm.
you know?
Do you think that the guys at Rock Nation, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, do you think those guys were intimidated by that? Because there's no way they didn't recognize that this guy is talented, right? Because they've been in the industry, successful label owners. They've come across a lot of artists. I'm sure they knew that there was something special about them.
Of course. I mean, like, if you think about the documentary, Pharrell was like, dude, you're my favorite artist.
Yeah.
When you drop through the wire, bro.
Yeah.
like, that's like the early days. Why didn't Jay-Z see that? You know, maybe it was about intimidation, but I think Kanye was so, well, he talks about it, right? Like, they wanted like the thug rapper.
It was
right?
very different. It was a shock to the system.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bro, do you remember what 2004 was like, dude? There was no conscious rap then, dude.
Nah. It was all like
money, clothes, and hoes, dude. That's what it was about.
Eminem, cussing,
Yeah, man.
hard shit, yeah.
And this guy's talking about Jesus, dude. He's talking about real things, man.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's not that they were intimidated, but they didn't know where to go with it. Like, it was something so brand new. Like, it must have been a bit confusing. Like, where does this sort of fit into the lexicon?
Yeah.
You know, like, this is gonna completely either change the game or be absolute trash.
Yeah.
So maybe that uncertainty was what they were struggling with.
Yeah. And fast forward to present times, still consistent, still making the music, still collaborating, still doing great things with regards to his craft. Do you think the saying is true that geniuses are insane? Do you think
yeah, bro.
your talent and your creativity, like when your mind is open to that point where you're just creating, you're developing, you're evolving, always adapting to the times, always coming up with
dude,
the smartest ideas. Do you think that can drive you nuts?
Bro, here's the thing, bro. Like, let's be real, man. If you're an innovator, if you're a creative, and a real creative, not just a person who says they're creative, your mind works differently from everyone else's. Straight up, dude.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have schizophrenia or anything, but it does mean that you're operating in a way that's different. And that can be very frightening for a lot of people who have that creativity. And it can be very frightening for people maybe looking at that person's creativity.
Yeah.
But the fact that your mind is working different, everything in this world is going to try and convince you that you are crazy and that you should be put into your box, go to your 9 to 5, do what you need to do, get a retirement annuity, and just be straight and narrow.
Yeah.
But the truth is, if you have that inside of you, you've got that creativity inside of you, if you've got that that desire to sort of push the boundaries.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to tap into that. And the thing is, it can be very scary to tap into it.
Yeah.
But once you do sort of reach a level of being comfortable around your own craziness.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can create magic, you know?
And for me, it's very hard to gauge like what his intentions are when he does certain things. Whether he's unstable, whether he's normal, whether there's something to worry about.
Well, clearly that guy has got bipolar disorder, right? Like, clearly. But, you know, as he says, like, he can tap into that and it brings out some power. That craziness, it brings out some power that elevates his consciousness in a level that he can create stuff that is going to be like art that's going to be remembered for ever, right?
Yeah.
And the people who do push the boundaries probably are a bit crazy, you know? There's probably something there. Like, if you can tap into whatever mental disorder you have labeled yourself as, and I know 99% of of your audience has that, right?
Yeah.
If you can just tap into what is that thing trying to tell you? What is it pushing you towards? You know, that's where you find out who you really are. That's where you find out what you really want to do.
Yeah.
And maybe you can go too far. Like Kanye has gone too far many times, right? Like you look at the stuff with Pete Davidson,
yeah.
Skeet. Nah, dude, like that's just too far, right?
Yeah.
But maybe you need those moments of being insane.
Yeah.
And just to live in a space where you can create from, you know.
Do you think that becomes addictive?
Yeah.
Because it's probably like kind of a rush, and when it goes away, you probably feel as if you need to do something crazy in order to spark something within you.
Yeah, dude, it's like, think about it, man. You've had times where you are at your peak of creativity, when you're like, dude, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm going to do X, Y, Z.
And then you look back and you're like, how the hell did I do that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But what if you found the formula? And I'm sure Kanye has found the formula.
Yeah.
Of I can get into the state, you know, this zone where I can create magic.
Yeah.
But in order for me to get to that state,
I need to mash the place up.
Dude, I have to take everyone's attention.
Yeah.
And put it on to whatever crazy shit he's about to do. So,
yeah.
And I'm sure that's part of it, right? I mean, dude, you don't get Jesus, bro.
Nah.
Without some craziness, man.
Nah, you don't.
Dude, you get Michael Bublé if you want to go straight and narrow, dude. You want Jesus, man. You got to tap into some crazy shit, dude.
Exactly. And what's your take on his reactions to people's opinions on his frame of mind or on certain things that he says? Because the thing is, I feel as if you're going to say certain things, right, and they're going to be on public platforms and you're going to put your business out there, I feel as if people have the right to have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because you put it out there. So whatever opinions people give you about what you put out there, you can't be mad about that because you put it out there.
Yes.
So what's your take on, even with the whole Trevor Noah situation, for example?
Yeah.
What's your take on his reactions to those type of things?
Dude, to try and break that down is something completely different, man. But
maybe he's increasing the adrenaline again with the reactions. You don't know.
I think so, dude. Whatever happens, bro, I know a banging album is coming out, dude, and I'm okay with that, dude.
Yeah.
Is it too far? Sure, bro.
Yeah.
But damn, bro, he's gonna drop a banger, man.
Exactly. And I think once he's gone, because all of us, God forbid, I don't wish his demise on anyone.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, ultimately, at the end of the day, one day we're all not going to be here anymore.
Yeah.
But the day that happens for him, whenever that is, I think we'll remember, man. Like what a great he was, even with all of the stuff that he does in these theatrics. I think we'll remember what a great talent he was.
Dude, that guy has ingrained himself into the pop culture lexicon.
Yeah.
That is one of the most famous people who's ever lived on the face of the planet, and he's done it for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's unheard of, man. And that guy will be remembered like Michael Jackson. He will be remembered like Jimi Hendrix or whoever, dude.
He doesn't even have to do anything else, to be honest.
He doesn't. But dude, I don't mind another Kanye album, bro.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do,
I
Kanye.
still think we're gonna get a few more.
Yeah.
To be honest. But then again, on the flip side, he could tell us tomorrow that he's done.
Dude, that thing is coming out on what's that platform that released?
Stem
Player, dog.
Yeah, that's mad.
A different way.
Stuff like
what? Think about that, man. There's a different way of listening to music.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been happy if if Donda 2 came out on Apple Music or Spotify.
Yeah.
But he's no. Firstly, I'm empowering myself, so I'm gonna empower myself by creating this new platform or whatever.
He's not taking the easy route.
And secondly, there's not only one way to listen to music. You can hold this, whatever that thing was, bro, and play with the way this music sounds.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely pushing the boundaries. Who else is doing that? Would anyone have thought about doing that?
Nah.
No. Exactly. So yeah,
Because I mean, everyone wants the easy way. Everyone wants to see how many streams they're getting, and the conventional way of doing things. Because things are always evolving. I feel like streams obviously are relatively a new thing, but as we know, industry is always being disrupted.
Yeah.
So now there's this new thing, and everyone's like, just like how you spoke about web3 and pushback.
Hey man, there's artists who are publishing this stuff as NFTs.
For real, music as well.
Yeah, man, music. Web3 is the next frontier for music.
Yeah.
Because how do you get past the fact that all your distribution comes from a label?
Yeah.
Like, how do you get past that? Because you need the distribution, no matter how good your music is.
Yeah.
If Sony comes to you and offers you a record deal, and everyone knows, dude, that you're gonna get royally fucked.
Yeah.
You're still gonna go with them.
True.
Because they have all of the power. What if that power is now with the artist?
Yeah.
And it's in music, it's in fine art, it's in like any kind of digital art. It's all the foundation for artists to take power. It exists on Web3.
Yeah.
So now guys what they're doing is it's an ecosystem that they're building around their brand, right? So you can buy concert tickets, for example, and it's your concert ticket is minted as an NFT.
Yeah, yeah.
And that gives you access to the actual concert. It also gives you a piece of digital art, probably, that you can keep forever.
Yeah.
And trade, probably. That's something that comes up.
Yeah.
It also maybe gives you, if you want to buy an album,
yeah,
you can buy it as an NFT, and you own that album forever.
Yeah.
And what's even more interesting is that at every single point, the artist is always going to be making royalties from that.
Yeah.
Not Sony. And that's something that is it's slowly starting to take shape. But I think once it becomes mainstream, we're going to see a complete change in what the music industry is.
Yeah.
And it is happening. I mean, there's so many artists that are already on Web3. I mean, maybe they're just talking about NFTs in terms of profile pictures. But the fact that they're in that space, it's just about timing.
Yeah.
When is it that Snoop Dogg drops his next album, whatever?
Yeah, yeah.
Completely, you have to own his NFT to have access to it.
Yeah. That's crazy. Nah, man, I enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, man.
It was really dope. We're definitely going to do it again. And yeah, bro, just before you go, if people want to learn more about Web3 and get tapped in, where would you say they should go? What resources should they check out? What would you say is the best? Like, just to start off with the basics, obviously, and then develop their knowledge on it.
Okay, so I think the first thing you need to do, really, if you're really serious about taking control of your finances, taking control of your freedom, all the things we talked about, go on to luno.com or valor.com and go buy whatever you can afford in Bitcoin. Not all that you can afford, just a little bit, right? Because I think once you get your foot in the game, as I said, man, you're going to start researching. Why is it going up? Why is it going down? And that's just going to lead to one thing is going to lead to the next.
Yeah.
And I think that's the easiest way, or at least for me, I'm a very visceral learner. I like to be immersed in things that I'm trying to learn about.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest way to do it. And then, dude, I promise you, there's so much of resources on typing in Bitcoin onto YouTube and just going down a rabbit hole. And it's all free. Dude, don't go pay someone to teach you about Bitcoin, bro.
Yeah.
That's the same guy who was teaching people about Forex, bro. Don't do it, man. Go onto YouTube.
We know those guys.
Yeah, they got a Chrome wrapped Z4 or some shit, dude. You know that guy, dude. Don't listen to that guy. Go onto YouTube, and just find your way down there. Something quick that you can go and research is just TED Talks, man. And then you start learning about the foundation of what blockchain technology is in a simplified, easy way. And then as you go deeper down the rabbit hole, it'll just recommend you stuff. You start looking at guys like Michael Saylor. You start looking at guys like Raoul Pal. Just those two names, if you go and research them. Plan B, Bankless, if you're into Ethereum. Literally, what I just said, just go search that. and you'll find your footing. It's difficult at first because it's a knowledge gap that you just don't have.
Yeah.
It's a knowledge gap. You don't have the knowledge, right? So it's going to be difficult to try and comprehend what to do.
Yeah.
But once the ball starts rolling, it's like a snowball effect. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just start learning exponentially.
Yeah.
And once you do that, man, it's the world is yours, really.
Yeah.
The world 3 is yours, right? So,
Yeah.
the other thing you can do, follow me on Twitter. Okay, that's always a good place to find the source. Find the alpha. So you can find me at Meta Homeboy. That's my real Twitter handle.
Yeah.
So Meta as in metaverse, Homeboy as your boy. Okay, so Meta Homeboy, one word. You can find me there. You can follow me on Instagram as well. And that's at Mikyron.eth. You'll put that on the, on the screen. I don't think everyone's gonna know how to spell Mikyron. But follow me on social, and I'm always dropping bombs. So if you just pay attention, you'll learn something. So, yeah.
Nah, shout out, man. Shout out. We back, guys. Season 2. Make sure you subscribe. And see you guys next time.